Guys write a note to their neighbor's dog and get an unexpected response. Neighbors. Most of us have them, and most of us never acknowledge their existence. Walking that fine line between neighborly and nosy can feel impossible to navigate, particularly if the stranger living next door seems like the absolute coolest. Do you put yourself out there, bring a casserole, play coy? A group of recent graduates relocated to a rental property in the UK, where they said goodbye to the comfort of owning pets. But after noticing their next-door neighbor's dog eyeing them through the window, they decided to put themselves out there and make the first move. What they got in return is something they'll never forget. Jack McCrossan and his 3 roommates were dog people. The 4 engineers all agreed that their house would be way cozier if a 4-pawed, watery-eyed canine companion pawed up and down the halls. Sadly, their lease made that impossible. The crew of 4 boys moved in together a few months prior and enjoyed getting accustomed to their new surroundings. Adjusting to the area would have been easier with the comfort of man's best friend, but they were renting a pet-free home. Securing a pet-friendly space can be nearly impossible. Landlords don't want the hassle of replacing soiled carpets or repairing claw-scratched floors. Unless you're willing and able to shell out an extra fee, many renters are stuck leading petless lives. So it was that with that disappointing reality nudging Jack ever so gently in the back of his brain, that he spotted something move in his neighbor's window. There, staring at him, unabashedly, wide-eyed and curious, was a beautiful dog. Jack filled in his roommates about the friendly-faced tailwagger living next door. Soon enough, all 4 of the boys caught a glimpse of the pooch, pressing its nose to the glass. Boy, oh boy, did they want to reach out and scratch behind her ears. There was one problem. How can they get this special creature into their lives without totally freaking out the human owners? After all, the boys had never met their neighbors. They debated what would be the best method of introduction and came up with an adorable solution. To find an in with their neighbor dog, the boys drafted a letter. They didn't want to come on too strong or too desperate, so they explained who they were and offered up their services to walk, play with, or just wave at the canine next door. Once they'd left the letter at the neighbor's door, it was a waiting game. The boys hoped putting themselves out there would pay off. Living arrangements would become rather awkward if the neighbors were peeved off by their rather forward dog proposition. When they spotted an envelope on their door labeled "The Boys," they knew in their guts who it was from. Admittedly, the paw print signature was also a major clue. It was from the neighbor dog, all right, and she had a lot to say. Either this pooch could write, or she dictated to the humans, because this letter was from the dog herself. That's right, the dog next door was a girl with a name fit for hypnotizing canine diva, Stevie Ticks. It turned out that Stevie was mutually interested in befriending the boys, and by default, her humans were too. She shared personal details. She's a 2-year-old Labrador and German Shepherd mix, looking for belly scratches and 5 ball throws per day. The boys found their perfect match. A quick text to Stevie's dad, Chris, whose digits were enclosed in the letter, and they set up their first meeting. Everybody was full of nervous jitters, praying for chemistry in person, but there was no reason to fear. Stevie greeted the boys with jumps, tail wags, and a distinct smile. Her enthusiasm was matched by the 4 boys of number 23. It had been a long time since they moved out of their family homes, leaving their pets behind. Almost immediately, they went from neighbors to close pals. Jack said, "She's very energetic, puppy-like, and friendly. We got to take her for a walk, and she wouldn't stop running." Thankfully, the boys got on well with Stevie's parents, Chris and Sarah, too. Chris and Sarah rescued their best gal, Stevie, from what they fondly called the doggy hotel cages. When they brought her home and heard her sing to birds and a few stray cats milling about their backyard, they gave her a name inspired by music. Before her life of gazing out windows, Stevie was dealt a difficult hand. A car struck her on the streets of Cyprus, resulting in a serious leg injury. Thankfully, someone stepped in to take her to the vet, where she underwent surgery. Post-recovery, Stevie was swooped up by a rescue group that worked to find the happy home she deserved. Little did they know that, in addition to hitting the jackpot with dog-adoring parents, Stevie would gain a community of neighbors who loved her something fierce. The boys were happy to report that their friendship with Stevie continues to grow stronger. It's a dynamic that suits everyone involved. If Chris and Sarah are busy with work, they rest assured knowing their favorite gal has eager pals ready to pay her extra attention. Jack and the boys snagged selfies with Stevie, which they posted on social media along with their meeting story. The vulnerability of putting themselves out there by letter, combined with the universal power of loving a dog, pushed this epic friendship tale into virality.